Here, in Cheshire, as elsewhere around the country, there has long been a loathing for speed cameras.
42 miles an hour.
Now there's a new threat to road users who are tempted to bend the rules. A spy camera system called ANPR, which instantly reads number plates and alerts the cops to drivers who are not obeying the law. The alarm sound is the cue for an intercept team to swing into action. With traffic cops' numbers dwindling, the ANPR will ensure lawbreakers are kept in check.
The unit has been arresting approximately 110 persons per officer each year. This really is state-of-the-art technology. They can read every single number plate that drives past. It's a very small device. The camera can be fitted into the rear of a van, to a car. It can even be plugged into CCTV masts in every town centre across the country.
What began as an anti-terrorist weapon has now become the cops' weapon of choice against uninsured and disqualified drivers.
I was on a crime car for numerous years at Warrington. The target was more criminals, whereas a lot of our work we do now involves fixed penalty notices for no tax, no insurance, so we've gone a different way now.
The target vehicle the cops are onto is a dodgy Sierra, pinpointed by the van operator.
It's the red one over there that's trying to avoid us.
After a car pings on the computer, it's down to the traffic cops to check out the driver and see if he's legal.
It's going left here.
One look at this one, and PC Davis suspects not.
It was just by the manner of his driving and the person inside the vehicle, you get a feel for when you look at a car and think, that's worth a stop.
The Sierra has scored a direct hit on the team's own in-car ANPR, linked to another database. With a warning from Fred Flintstone.
The van operator and the system operator, whoever's monitoring that system, knows just by the sound what they're looking at. So Yabba Dabba Doo it's a PNC marker, which means it's on the police national computer. Sergeant Chandler spoke to him and I spoke to the female occupant of the vehicle.
The PNC database holds all the names of people and their cars who have been in trouble with the law, or still are.
Can I have your name, please?
Sean Lane.
Sean what?
Lane, L-A-N-E.
Any middle name, Sean?
No.
What's your date of birth?
11 to the 2nd, 81.
They are not the details Sergeant Chandler was expecting. Neither are those which PC Davis is getting.
Where were you born?
Liverpool.
Do you know whereabouts in Liverpool?
I haven't got a clue. Royal Hospital, I think. I'm not sure, I don't know. I was born in Liverpool.
Because they're having to think off the top of the head, they quite easily forget what little minor details. Where were you born? Date of birth, what's your star sign? And if they stutter, they mumble, they sometimes fire the questions out, fire the answers out really, really fast. That's a straight indication they're lying to you.
Any ID on you?
I haven't got nothing whatsoever because you always lose it. It's in the house.
You do get a sense of, no, this person's not right. You can't you can't say why, but you do get a feel for when they're lying to you.
Can a person's check please at Juliet 591?
You've been in trouble before for anything?
I have just driving offences.
Surname is Lane, Lima Alpha November Echo.
Nothing crime related.
First name Sean, and it's 110281.
At Cheshire Police's state-of-the-art headquarters in Winsford, more detective work is going on behind the scenes in the control room.
No exact match, one with the same name but born on the 1st of February 81. Just the one on his arrest summary for being drunk and disorderly. Is this likely to be the one ever?
Have you ever been in trouble with the police?
I've got a few driving tickets.
Have you ever been arrested?
Once, yeah.
What for?
Driving.
Nothing else?
And our control room operators are very good. They get a real bee in the bonnet about something. They'll do checks on people before we've even asked them to do.
Yes, the date of birth as you've given me, he's got a full licence, but it is the same address as the one exact match on the PNC from Bailey's Lane ever.
Just give us a description of the one that you have got.
5'10", that's all there is on the description of her.
What school does your mum work in?
think it's one in Aylwood. It's an infant school. I think it's Plantation. I'm not sure. I think it's Plantation. I'm not too sure.
You're not coming forward with any information at all, are you, really?
What do you mean?
It's a lot of... I think, I'm not sure.
No, I think
Nobody's on the phone.
I don't know. We all use mobiles. I don't know the mobile numbers.
They're lying to you. They go out intentionally to lie to you. They've done it before, they'll do it again.
In Warrington, Cheshire's largest town, they're yet to install ANPR systems in their car parks. So it's an old-fashioned trawl around them for business for PC's John Miller and Phil Day.
In the north part of Warrington, we get a lot of vehicle crime, theft from vehicle, theft of motor vehicle, from the major car parks such as IKEA, Gemini, Marks and Spencer's, and it's an idea to get around the car parks as much as you can, especially if you've got the option of a plane car, and have a trawl through. I always say if you cast a big enough net, you'll come up with something, and you invariably do on those car parks.
They're in luck. They've spotted something fishy.
No tax, 08, 05, he's no insurance, is it?
So we'll have him when he comes up.
Yeah.
Is he gone?
Yeah, yes.
He certainly didn't clock us because we were in the unmarked car, and as he drove past us, it was just a case of turning around and following him.
An out-of-date tax disc nearly always means no insurance.
Guys, can I move in vehicle check, please? On Romeo 902, Foxtrot Victor Echo. Should relate to White Rover Metro, or 100, whatever they are.
On your vehicle, it's not showing any insurance details now.
Sure enough, no insurance. Time for a word with the driver.
He knew, didn't he?
That's what it's all about, you know, being out there flying the flag, stopping these vehicles for, like, you know, no seat belts, you know, no tax, you know, dodgy exhaust. How long's she had the vehicle?
The man's claiming it's his wife's. Her tax is out of date.
Suppose to take a seat in our car, then we'll just get some details off you. All right, I'm going to ask you now.
Yeah.
Have you got a full driving licence?
Yeah.
Is the vehicle insured? It's not showing as insured.
No, it's not.
No insurance?
It's not insured on my name, but it's
not insured on your wife's name either.
Well, as far as I knew, it was insured in her name.
Well?
No tax and no insurance. The cops are ahead in the game.
They're umming and ahhing, and, you know, their eyes are always all over the place. They won't look you directly, make eye-to-eye contact. And it was obviously, he wasn't being straight with us. All right, what's your surname?
Call it, same as C-O-L-E-T-T.
Any first names?
Paul.
Have you got any ID on you at all?
I haven't got anything on me at all. That's what I come out of the house.
Yes, can I have a wanted missing check, please? On Hall Road in Warrington, 2717.
Call at 1410 1983.
83? Have you any tattoos, mate? We need to prove you are who you say you are.
Yeah, Roger, have you got any description at all, tattoos, etc.?
But the problem is, if we can't prove you are who you say you are and you're committing offences, we have to nick
Have
you
you got
and
any
take you in
tattoos, like me mate, Tass, a scar?
I've got a scar on my right forehead there.
Short, light brown, wavy hair, blue eyes.
Brown eyes. I've got a tattoo on my arm here.
Got a cross with Dad and R.
He's got Paul, 2 hearts and Paul on his right shoulder.
Also, a heart with an angel Anne in it on his left
Well,
arm.
that says Anne in it.
It's like a little bit like a game, isn't it? You know, and you've just got to try and chip away at them until they tell you who they are, within the bounds of the rules and regs of what you can do and say to people.
If we go in there now and nick you, you know the score, don't you? If we nick you and you go on the live scan and it comes back to someone else, then it's attempted to pervert the course of justice, isn't it? So just tell us who you are.
Paul Prince.
Thank you.
Paul Prince?
Yeah.
Right, give me your correct details, mate.
They are the correct details.
So it's not Corlett?
No.
Right,
Well,
are you disqualified?
I am married. I'm not, no.
You're not wanted?
No, not as far as I know.
Just stop messing me about now.
Sorry.
Okay. Give me your full
Match point to the traffic cops.
Paul Prince, and everything else is the same.
Got Liverpool tattoos on his left arm, apparently.
He's probably blagged loads of bobbies in his time, you know. He's probably used those Joey details that he tried to use on us.
Yeah, no worries, mate, okay.
And it may have worked for him in the past, and you just got to be vigilant against that.
Back in Bold Street, the Sierra driver, Sean, is still refusing to play ball.
Just doing some checks, mate, just to clarify your ID and that.
I've had all this before on the bridge here in
Have you?
Bridge.
You got nothing with your name on.
I've got
You think you'd
nothing
carry it, wouldn't you?
I know, well, I always lose my licence.
What's in that pocket?
Nothing.
A lot of them have got ID on them, but they just say, no, I've got none. We haven't got power to check.
I think what'll happen, Sean, I mean, depending on what your colleague says on the phone, that he's just having a bit of info, we might have to take you to Warrington.
What's that for?
There's a live scan machine there. And basically, just read your fingerprints. And then once we're happy with who you are, then we'll deal with the side of having no tax and all that business.
Sergeant Chandler is getting the lowdown on Sean.
5'6", thin build, brown eyes, short dark brown greasy straight hair, northwest accent. He's got a tattoo, the name Suzanne, on his left arm. On his right arm he's got Phil.
You show your sleeves on, mate? No, right up so I can see up to your forearms. You have got tattoos.
It appears Sean might have ID on him after all.
Who's Phil?
You're just lying to me. Who are you?
That's my son, man.
Why are you lying to me about your tattoos? I asked you if you had tattoos.
The tattoos on his arm basically gave the game away for him.
I mean, how quick we're
Don't see yours, mate. You had your chance to give us the details. You gave the details at the police station.
I'm disqualified from driving, that's why
Right.
I didn't give
Okay,
you
well,
details.
fine, we'll sort it out. Okay, you're now under arrest for disqualified driving.
What's your name, mate?
Sorted out 10 times quicker now, all right?
Can you give her the keys for the car?
No, love, we have your car off you.
What do you mean, have the car off
Just give us your name, love. What's your full name?
Lane.
Philip?
Yeah.
You got a middle name?
No.
Sean is really Philip, a disqualified driver. Game over.
It's nice when you find out because you think, yeah, you know, he's lied to us and we found him out.
Have you given your correct details now?
Yeah. I'm disqualified from driving.
Is that it? Anything else?
No, that's it.
We'll get you boxed off then 10 times quicker. All
What's going to happen with the car? It's not my car.
It's going to be seized. It's going to be recovered.
Oh, you're joking.
He was pretty upset because it was his friend's car that he borrowed it from. So he's now got to go back to his friend and explain as to what's happened and the fact that his car's now been impounded.
In Warrington, Paul, the uninsured driver, is also about to learn the consequence of taking on the traffic cops.
The problem is you're going to have to seize the vehicle now.
Oh, you know.
We've got new powers, you know.
Oh, don't seize it. I won't drive it. I'll just get off.
We don't have a choice, mate. We've got to seize it.
Can't my missus come and pick it up?
We've got to seize it because you're driving it.
Well, what about if we just leave the car until get the insurance sorted out?
We can't do that now, mate. There's all sorts of different rules and regulations and laws and whatnot now that we've got to work with. I mean, it's great for the police, but it's terrible for people that commit traffic offences, you know what I mean? Because they're going to lose vehicles.
So will she lose that now?
Only until she collects it. Does she know you're in it?
No.
Not satisfied with just the car, PC Day is going for the coup de grace.
This is UTMV, this, John.
What? Start saying that.
Right. Do what?
Don't start saying that.
UTMV stands for unauthorised taking of a motor vehicle. They're going to bust him for nicking it off his wife.
Hello?
They just need to confirm that the man's partner is not aware he's got the car.
Got, I think it's your partner, Paul, stopped at the roadside at the minute for a road traffic offence and he's driving a Rover Metro which is registered to you. What's the circumstances with regards to him driving the vehicle? Is he supposed to be driving this vehicle? Do you give him permission? It's your vehicle, isn't it?
I don't know, he's not asking me so.
So, well, listen, let me tell you, at the end of the day, if he's not got permission to drive the vehicle, then we'll have to arrest him for unauthorised taking of a motor vehicle. Has he got any authority to drive this vehicle?
Yeah.
He has?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
But he's not got any insurance, has he?
It won't be insured now. I've cancelled it. I've got a new car, so...
Okay, so...
Having saved Paul's bacon, his wife has now dropped herself in it.
Well, if she says he has got permission to use it, she knows there's no insurance, she knows he's not insured, she's permitting him to drive that vehicle with no insurance, so she is really in trouble herself.
But PC Day has decided the unexpected loss of her car is punishment enough for Paul's wife. At the police station in Warrington, the disqualified driver who gave the game and his name away by showing off his tattoos is about to be charged.
It's nice to know we've taken a criminal off the road and that he can no longer drive that vehicle, and all all told, hopefully that vehicle will be scrapped and no longer in use on public roads.
This person's been stopped driving their motor vehicle in Bold. He's identified himself, and at the time he did give us false details, but on his true details he's shown as a disqualified driver, which he's been arrested for.
Okay, you understand that, mate? Okay. What are your correct details then? Give us your full name.
Place for the custody sergeant, and then that's the end of our dealings, really. He gets dealt with by a custody investigation team. See you later.
In North Warrington, Mr. Prince is being allowed to go home on foot.
Your lads from not from Warrington, no?
Yeah. There's nothing else you want out of it, is there, mate? In the past, he may have stood around the corner, allowed us to drive off. See you later.
Take care, mate.
And then come back to the vehicle and then just driven it off again. Well, it completely defeats the object. I mean, if he hits someone then 200 yards down the road after just being stopped by the police and kills someone, then, you know, what are the police doing about this? You know, and it is a good tool.
Prince is going to have some explaining to do to his wife about what's happened to her car, which he borrowed. This is Crewe in South Cheshire, a town built around the biggest railway junction in Britain. This evening, the ANPR team are in town, cruising for some action. The only real checks done on motorists, apart from if they are involved in an accident, is when they buy their road tax. But now they've got the ANPR, the traffic cops can check thousands every day.
Anytime they're driving past an ANPR vehicle, any police vehicle, there's a possibility of them getting stopped and prosecuted.
Doesn't take off, was it? No, I'm after a Fiat Kilo 41 Alpha Uniform Juliet. That's it there, isn't it? Yeah, would you? Yeah, it's shown as no insurance and a vehicle excise licence. So, hopefully we might get something. Giving it here. We'll just have a chat and see what the problem is. Sometimes if there's no insurance shown or no tax shown, it can be just a delay, or there could be just a problem with the computer. Hiya. How are you? Just stand aside for me, saves you getting run over. Is it your vehicle?
Yeah.
Is it registered to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, just stand off the road for me, love. We stopped you because of your vehicle tax. What?
Yeah, I know. I'm just on the way to take up some stuff to my mum's. I'm sorry.
Have you got any... You're going to your mum's, are you?
Yeah.
Why have you not taxed it?
Because I did take it off the road.
OK. No problem. Can you just open the car for us?
Yeah, of course, love. Yeah.
Just have to get a note of it.
I'm sorry, love. She's very poorly.
Is this your mum?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Has she been poorly for a while? She got medicine for her mother, and she said that was the only reason she was driving. Just sit yourself in the back and...
I feel dead embarrassed now.
Yeah, well, it's best if you're sitting here then, isn't it?
Hello there.
I am sorry.
Is your tax house, is it?
Yeah.
The woman agrees she's driving without tax.
I've done a stupid thing, I know.
Yeah.
I know it.
But PC Davis suspects something far more disturbing.
Have you had a drink at all?
I had a glass of wine at dinner time. Yeah.
Did you? All it is, my love, I can just detect alcohol on your breath.
Yeah, I did, I must admit.
How long ago was that?
Oh, gosh, that was about 1:30.
What time is it? Oh, so quite a while back. It's right, OK. She'd been out for a meal or something, which she thought she was all right to drive.
Just breathed it out.
I'll hold the machine in one long continuous breath till I tell you to stop. I need you to blow into the machine. OK?
OK.
Keep blowing, 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 stop. and then pass out quietly.
It's a good blow, isn't it?
Oh, that's how it's going to be.
Right, my love. As you can see, I've failed the test. It's gone to red, so it is detecting alcohol in your breath. So at this moment in time, you're under arrest, driving under the influence of excess alcohol. OK. I appreciate you said you've only had a glass of wine. But take you to the police station at Crewe.
Yeah, now?
Yeah, you have to go now, I'm afraid. You are under arrest. No, my love, you are under arrest at this moment. If she was that concerned about her mum, why did she have a bottle of wine for lunch?
I'll just leave the car here.
We wouldn't leave it here, but we'll put it on an estate where it'll be a bit safer.
All right, then.
OK, we'll do that, eh?
Because we'd have had to wait for recovery, we decided to leave the vehicle at the roadside, and the breathalyser was really the priority. You need to get them on the machine as soon as possible.
Well, come on then.
In Warrington, as night draws in, the unmarked car team, PCs Miller and Day, are resorting to their 2020 night vision to try and catch lawbreakers.
He didn't have a seatbelt on.
No, he didn't. No.
They've managed to spot a driver not wearing his seatbelt.
We turn the vehicle round. As we're turning around, you can see he sort of speeds up a little bit. So we start thinking, is there something wrong?
Yeah, hanging about, mate. November Oscar 93.
So his belt's on now, he has clocked us.
The driver's now belted up. He's figured out the car behind has got cops in it. Or is he up to some other game?
Let's have a vehicle check, please. Stay in the avenue. He's not going to get out there as he's that close to the door.
I know, what's he up to? He's trying to shove us off here. He's up to something, John. Just be careful, mate.
Parks next to a line of traffic that are on the grass verge. So there's only probably about a foot or so between his door and the other vehicle's door.
He might go.
It's like in a Mexican standoff. You know, you're waiting for someone to make the first move. Yeah, November Oscar, Narbo behind a blue Vauxhall Astra, Statham Avenue. Turning right into Kirkstone Avenue.
There's hundreds of things going through your mind. Your adrenaline's going. You're trying to weigh up, what if he stops? What if he gets out now? How can I block him in?
One male drive, vehicle failing to stop.
You still want to get him at all costs. I mean, that's why you join police at the end of the day.
What are we now?
He's on his toes.
Where is he?
Can't see him.
There he is! Phil! Stop there to let the dog off!
Sort of doing the old put the dog in routine, you know, hopefully he'll jump up then. As I came through the garden, I crashed through one fence and I think it collapsed underneath me and I ended up on the floor on my side and then I was up again and I was through the gardens. And as I came through the side alley of this house, I just caught sight out the corner of my eye, a figure hiding underneath the car. I think he said something about waiting for his girlfriend, but...
The cops' good night vision has paid off. They've found an old friend who's denying he was the driver.
I mean, I was after that. I've just come from around that corner. Next minute, the car just pulled out at me.
He's disqualified from driving and he's also got an antisocial behaviour order against him. Not to drive any vehicles whatsoever.
Has he actually hit something?
Is it, man?
That bump wasn't our fault. You know, it was down to him driving like a lunatic. Yeah, well, that's it. When he's come round, he's come too fast, hit the curb. His front near side tyre's deflated, and that's when he's lost it, and then he's hit into this poor chap's car. People say, well, you know, should the police be actually pursuing vehicles? But if the criminal was to know, well, all right, then, I'll drive at 40 mile an hour in a 30 zone, and the police won't bother trying to stop me, you know, it's going to be bedlam.
PC Miller's found another reason why the man made a run for it.
You can see there in the back, there's 4 containers, and judging by the smell, it's diesel.
He's a notorious fuel thief who's been caught in the act.
Listen, if I was in that car, mate, I'm going to stink.
You do stink of it.
I don't stink.
He's no teeth in his top jaw, so I presume he's been supping petrol for quite some time.
Oh, look at me pants.
We seized the vehicle and we have a full forensic done on it. And see if we can link him with the vehicle other than by sight. Obviously fingerprints, that kind of thing, DNA.
At the police station in Crewe, the drink driver, flushed out by the ANPR, has failed her evidential breath test.
Blown over, so she's gone to blood because she's blown 51 to 48. So we need to get a doctor out now. She'll be put in a cell, get the doctor out. He'll come and take her blood, and then she'll be given bail to come back while it goes off for analysis to see whether she's over on blood.
She's learnt a painful lesson.
I would not do it again, that's for sure.
You know,
No, never. I've never done it before and I'll never do it again. Never.
It may have been the first time. It's not my position to judge anyway. At the end of the day, it just matters what happens on that day, at that time when we've arrested her.
It's not worth it. Especially when you see a photograph like that. And it's not worth it at all.
In Warrington, PC Day's suspect is facing a sleepless night in the cells. And it won't be for the first time.
He's got a horrendous criminal record. It's appalling. You've just got to keep trying to stop him and put him before the magistrates' court. We've done our job. Let's get the evidence. Let's get him before the magistrates, and it's down to them then. Let's get him sentenced.
The suspected fuel thief is currently awaiting trial on charges of driving without due care, driving without insurance, and theft of diesel. Philip Lane, the man who had trouble remembering his name, was found guilty of driving whilst disqualified and sent to prison for 4 months. The woman who learnt a painful lesson about drinking at lunchtime was disqualified from driving for 12 months and fined £80. And the driver who lost his partner's car during a visit to the shops was fined £600 and banned from driving for 6 months. Historic Portsmouth on the south coast is the second largest ferry port in the UK. 6,000 freight lorries pass through it every week.
They've got a lorry driver, they pulled him over, searching his...
There's been a report that one of them has been pulled over and stopped by customs officials.
Yeah, Roger, not a million miles away. I shall start towards.
Traffic cop PC Nick Elcombe is on his way there to find out why.
We work with our colleagues in the Customs and Excise branch, and I have been called down there on a few occasions in the past. Physically, they're not able to stop every single vehicle entering the country. So I would imagine your chances of actually getting stopped are quite slim. Customs shed, mate. Customs shed, OK. Thank you very much. As I turned up, there's a lorry in the customs bay, a big 40-tonne articulated lorry. Mike India 02, State 6.
Mike India 02, thank you.
Customs suspect the international trucker has exceeded his alcohol allowance by drinking more than is legal to drive.
Shall try my best Polish. When it became apparent that he's from Poland, I thought that this was possibly going to complicate matters. Come here.
PC Elcombe's got a problem. The lorry driver doesn't speak English.
Okay. Your lorry?
Ja.
Have you been drinking?
Ja, ik drinken.
How long ago?
Is drinken is from is ferry, yeah?
On the ferry? So, some time ago? Not here?
Yeah.
You're drinking here?
No.
It was immediately evident this chap had been drinking. It was quite malodorous. Good.
The breathalyzer confirms Elcombe's suspicion.
It's red.
Yeah.
It's not good.
The man has got bad breath.
Is waar ten parkplaats?
It's a police station.
Nee, is parkplaats is finish out.
No.
Jaki problem?
Big problem. It's a police station now. Okay.
Is ferry, ja?
Yeah.
Is parkplaats, is slaven,
no.
Finish.
Yeah? Here is road.
You're
driving here. Yeah, these people walking around and you're driving this. Okay? Place your hands like that, please.
Yeah, maar niets.
I can't believe that he didn't know that it's illegal to drive in the UK over the legal limit, whether he knows what the legal limit is or not. That, to my mind, questions his suitability for the job that he's doing.
Niks okay.
Niks okay. Well, you decided to drink and drive?
There's a surprise in the cab for Elcombe.
Well, I mean, he's just blown on the screening device over 130, which would put him at 3 times the drink-drive limit in the UK. He's in charge of about 40 tonnes of road train. It would appear that this chap's got a bit of a drink problem. He's driven it from the ferry to here. He reckons he was going to have a kip. The trouble is, the nearest place for him to stop is going to be probably up near Basingstoke. So we're talking a good, probably 40-mile drive before he actually gets to somewhere where he's going to stop.
For PC Elcombe, it brings a whole new meaning to drinking and driving.
An open glass of spirit in the cab is a first for me in, 14 years. So that was something of a surprise.
Traffic cops have also been called to the outbound side of the port to investigate an abandoned white van.
I mean, if you're worried about a security issue with that, then we should really be looking at getting it towed now. You call that boar hunt yourselves, don't you?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can call them on your behalf and get it recovered under Section 44 of the Terrorism Act.
I think we'd go along with that.
It could be harmless, but with heightened security at the port, PC Chris O'Connor can't take any chances.
Just strange seeing that vehicle left on its own there, so that's why we sort of paid it a fair bit of attention. Nothing untoward on the front seats. There was nothing in particular about the steering column or anything like that to indicate that it may have been stolen. It was intact, so we couldn't actually see into the back of the vehicle, which was obviously a bit of a concern.
Could be a bomb in the back, you don't know.
We put a tannoy out, try and find out if the driver was just made a mistake and left the vehicle, gone off for a cup of tea or something.
We've done a check on the number plate. There's nothing suspicious about the vehicle in general. It comes back to a gentleman from Middlesex area.
There aren't many places that you can go to. So if they're not hearing the tannoy, where have they gone? You'd expect somebody that's going to be boarding a ship to actually be at the ferry port and to actually respond to the fact that they're calling their registration of their vehicle and the possible name of the person who should be in that vehicle.
Are you waiting to go on one of the boats, are you? What vehicle have you got? You haven't, right, okay.
If they can't find anyone soon, they'll have to call out a task force under the anti-terror law to deal with it. 6 miles away in Fareham, PC Elcombe has arrived at the police station with his drink driver. The Polish trucker doesn't like the way he's being treated, like a criminal.
I don't know, I'm afraid. You might be the famous Polish axe murderer or something. I don't know you. Right. He didn't appear drunk. He smelt of alcohol, and the signs were there. If you know what to look for, the redness of the eyes. He was argumentative. All I can understand at the moment, he wants a cigarette.
Speak any English at all?
No.
Obviously not.
He's Polish.
I'll give you 2 seconds. I'll give you explain the reason why he's been arrested in English.
Okay.
Just to put the details onto the system, then I'll get the language line on. We'll get the Polish interpreter through.
My Polish is pretty much non-existent. The custody sergeant's Polish obviously wasn't that hot either, so we're reliant then on the interpreting service, which we have to try and get things done over the telephone.
I wasn't about to run away. I didn't intend to harm anyone, and this treatment it has been very unpleasant.
Miscommunication, misunderstanding, it's all thrown into the mix in what can be already a very complicated procedure.
The panic in Portsmouth is over for PC O'Connor. The owners of the van have been found.
Just over there. Just over where?
Just to the...
Right. Okay. Who are you? What's your name?
Mr. McHenry.
McHenry. Okay. I'll just cancel the recovery truck. Okay. It's them. Do you want to cancel recovery? Okay.
We sat in the queue. No,
Right.
we sat behind all the other vans.
The McHenrys had joined the queue for an 8 a.m. ferry, but got tired of waiting when they realised they were actually booked on the 8 p.m. ferry.
Okay.
The guy said, we're not boarding till 8 o'clock tonight.
Right. That's fine, but at some point the queue's going to move.
Yeah.
You were just on the point of having your vehicle removed under the Terrorism Act.
As soon as I mentioned the fact that the vehicle was about to be towed under the anti-terrorist legislation, they were most shocked.
I don't know what's in your van. I think it's empty because the springs are quite high.
Could only happen to me.
It could, couldn't it? There we go. Right. Can I look in the back of the vehicle,
Yeah.
please? The reason for the look in the back of the vehicle is under that particular piece of legislation, under Section 44 of the Terrorism Act. Oh my word, I'm not going through that lot. Are you moving abroad?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right. It's lucky we didn't recover your vehicle then, isn't it, eh?
It's got
Okay.
it's got everything in it.
That would have been an interesting one then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You see.
It took me 3 days to pack it, so God knows how long you get it.
Right, no problem. What we'll do, to make sure that you are fit to drive,
Yeah, do you want
we'll breath test you and make sure you're fit.
I did it to make sure that he was safe to actually move that vehicle, and he did it with full cooperation and there was no problem. Fortunately, he'd only had a little bit of alcohol and he was fine.
We've just managed to cancel the breakdown recovery.
Okay, thank you very much.
It would have cost you £140. So there we are.
I think he was a very, very embarrassed but genuine person who's made a mistake. Fortunately, it resolved itself, but it could be that we'd have gone the whole way and cost a lot of money to the port, to the police force, to the local authority to actually shut down the port because one person had left their vehicle there.
In Fareham, they're taking a more precise measurement of the alcohol in the lorry driver's body.
Good.
The reading shows that he is 2.5 times over the legal limit. In Poland, where their legislation is tougher, he would have been 10 times over the limit.
UK, it's 35.
England and...
Okay, no, you can't write on these.
England, yeah?
This chap became argumentative and was trying to throw confusion in and muddy the waters by pointing out that the reading was wrong and incorrect and that sort of thing.
He said something about air from his cheeks versus air from his lungs, as if it were any different. I have no idea.
My suspicion, Monica, is that he's a professional driver and that probably knowing that he's got the potential of losing his driving licence, he's starting to think about technical defences. It became apparent in conversations that he was going to try and use what we call a hip flask defence.
How bad is
The man's trying another excuse for being over the limit. He's claiming it was because he had more to drink after he was stopped, but before he was breathalyzed. The cops can work out exactly how much he had drunk and when from the leftover drink bottles, but that means going back to the port and finding them.
What appeared to be an open and shut case very quickly became a very open case.
We'll get the interpreter on the phone.
If the lorry driver is not charged soon, he'll have to be bailed, and he might not return. Time is running out, and the cops haven't got the evidence to disprove the man's new alibi. Elcombe's going back to the ferry port to find it. 90% of all drivers who are convicted of drink driving are male. This afternoon, the traffic cops have been sent to a pub in Waterlooville, north of Portsmouth, to deal with a drunk woman. They've been called by the landlord, who saw the woman staggering towards her car after she had been asked to leave the pub.
Right, which one do you want her in? Yours?
She was absolutely drunk, totally intoxicated. There was no way she was even capable of walking properly, let alone controlling a vehicle.
Sitting there. In you go. Oh my God. You need to turn that way, don't you?
My colleague, PC Brind, failed to get the breath test and arrested her for being unfit to drive through drink or drugs.
As PC Brind takes the woman into custody, O'Connor has come across a witness.
Hello, sir.
I see it back that car out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he opened the door and took the keys out.
Right.
Fantastic action. If he hadn't have done so, then, the vehicle could possibly be involved in a serious crash.
Just quickly move this back in.
The woman's car, left stranded in the middle of the car park, is proof she was trying to drive home. This time, it looks like an open and shut case.
Fortunately, there were 2 other people who were witnesses who also confirmed that she was behind the wheel of the vehicle and was actually driving it.
The potential for her driving that car is horrendous. It's either going to be her killing somebody or killing herself. So we go back to Waterlooville now. We now need to put her on evidential machine to find out what level of alcohol she's got in her system. I have to say that she's probably got so much in her system she might not even be able to blow into the machine.
Back at the ferry port, PC Elcombe has returned to get the evidence to prove how much the truck driver had drunk. But there's a problem.
The team that I wanted to speak to had gone home, which then necessitated trying to find the on-duty team. I then had to consider what we call a back calculation, i.e. working out how much he could have possibly had to drink in that stage. and trying to find witnesses from the customs people that could confirm or deny whether he had in fact been drinking. If I end up having to interview him about back calculation, I'll need to know how much he's had to drink. So if I turn around to him and say, you know, you've had that much out of that glass and that much out of that bottle, how long have you had that over, what period of time you've had that over, work on the principle that the body's only able to digest a certain amount of alcohol over a period of time. So we'll be able to go on a back calculation to exactly how much his limit was at a particular time, and the laboratory can do that quite accurately. So even if that now falls out, I can say exactly how much alcohol was in it. When you volunteer for what you think is going to be quite a reasonably straightforward drink-drive procedure, you're not expecting to end up working on late until the evening.
Elcom's spoken to the customs staff. There are more complications.
None of the customs officers will be able to give us continuous vision of what the guy was doing at any one point. So we're now going to have to go back and speak to the custody sergeant and decide where we go from there. It's getting late, I'm getting tired, I'm getting hungry, I'm getting grumpy, but I'm professional. I'm not going to let this minor setback spoil what was an otherwise perfect day.
The woman arrested in the pub car park is refusing to let her minor setback spoil her day.
Okay, what's your first name?
U-L-L-A.
U-L-L-A. Any middle names?
Ulla is from Finland, but there is no language barrier this time.
Sorry, you have to run that through me again.
Well, my name is Michael Coates. Not many people know that.
At the station, she was very, very talkative, but still cooperative. What I need to do is take a deep breath and blow into this tube until I tell you to stop. I was concerned that she was so drunk that she might not be able to actually carry out the evidential procedure so we can actually find out what alcohol was in her system. What I need you to do though is to do that breath test for me again. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. Fortunately, she did listen to me. She did understand, although it took a very long time. And she did give 2 samples of breath.
The readings have shocked PC O'Connor.
I honestly didn't believe it would be that high. I didn't believe that anybody could still actually give 2 evidential samples, understand what was going on, and give her such a high reading. The legal limit that you can drive with alcohol in your system in this country is 35. Okay? You are at, the lowest reading is 154. You're substantially over the drink drive limit. Okay? You will be charged with a drink driving offence. They're 2 of the highest readings I've ever seen. She blew 154 and 155. She was 4 or more times the drink drive limit, massively intoxicated. I know you're very upset. We need to finish this.
Ulla has been caught drink driving before. She could be on her way to prison again.
154. That is the highest I've seen, ever.
In Lee Park, a stone's throw away from the police station, another woman is in distress, by the side of the road. She's apparently been drinking with her husband, who is driving.
I'm not selling porkies. So I had 2 pints when I was waiting for her to try and get her out of the pub.
They'd had some kind of domestic argument. We think it was over the money for the fish and chips for the kids' dinner. Something as trivial as that.
What's your name?
Dave Britton.
Dave Britton. No, I don't think we've met before.
We haven't, because I've been a nice straight boy for the last 10 to 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
PC Steve Woodward has got a whiff of something about this man.
The fumes coming off of him and from the car in general were very strong. It's not like you've got to go right up to them and virtually kiss them to smell the alcohol.
Because one of you two is going to have to drive it home.
Yeah, we'll sort that
You'll
out.
probably arrest me, because I've probably had...
What time was your last drink?
Oh. Half hour ago.
Sorry?
Half hour ago.
Half hour ago.
Like I say, I got phoned up, picked me up, take me like 2 pints to get hold of her, and then...
Have you ever given one of these before?
Yeah, years ago. Not one of them, it's a little blue bag when you.
Oh, blimey, that is old, isn't it?
That does as well.
Well, this will still hurt if it goes to red.
All I need hurt, but I'm on about the actual hurting.
Right. What I need you to do is blow the end of the tube in one continuous breath until I tell you to stop.
Don't bother with all that bollocks. I know all that.
Big deep breath, keep blowing until I tell it to stop then. That's it, thank you.
And it goes to red or amber. Now what's the amber?
You're right, it's gone straight out to red. Okay.
That's because it's so short a time between.
Well, I must tell you that you're obviously under arrest on suspicion of driving your motor vehicle whilst over the prescribed limit, okay?
The man's wife is going home. She's had enough.
He knew, even before he'd taken the breath test, that he was likely to be over, so he wasn't surprised.
Well, I'll drive at home, won't I?
Yeah, right, okay.
Fuck's sake, I used to be a racing driver. I did.
Yeah, well, even racing cars you've got to drive sober, haven't you? We'll sort the car out and we'll get you taken to Waterlooville custody.
I get arrested every 5 minutes because I'm not protected because I'm English. I'm one of the few people that can actually hold their hands up and say, I'm 100% English. I've got no Welsh, no Scottish, no Irish, no other bloody blood in me apart from English.
His name was Mr. Britain, and he made great play on the fact that he was English.
Right.
You've been done for drink driving before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long
Just the second one?
No, this is about the fourth one.
Is it?
Because I used to be, like I said to you, when you first stopped me, I used to be a bad boy.
Yeah.
23rd of June 1978.
Yeah.
I got 3 5-year bans on the trot.
Right.
But I was allowed off with a 7-year one because I kept appealing against it while I was in prison.
You treat the whole thing as a joke, and obviously it isn't a joke, it's a serious subject. Your carriage of weights, Dave.
That's what pisses me off. You know, I haven't.
Right, before we get in the car, have you got anything on you shouldn't have?
Yes, I've got an Uzi 9mm in my back pocket.
Give it here then.
Some bastard's nicked my back pocket.
My aim when you're dealing with somebody like Mr. Britain and any other drunk driver is to get those 2 breath samples. Put your seatbelt on, hate to have an accident and rearrange your face on that headrest. That's why we have to treat them almost with kid gloves, and it really does get up your nose.
In Waterlooville, they're breaking the news to Ula that she can't go home yet.
Come on, Ula, come on. Come on. We'll get your drink and stuff in a minute.
Hello.
Ula, do you understand what's happening?
No!
Right, okay, unfortunately, the amount of alcohol in your breath is very, very high. And at this moment, you cannot be charged with any offences because you are too intoxicated. So what we need to do is to let the alcohol, dissipate from your body. Now, unfortunately, that's going to take several hours, probably, I calculate, 11 hours, before the alcohol level in your body is sufficient enough for you to understand what's going on. What we now need to do is take your property off you. This will be returned to you when you leave.
Keep yourself calm, okay?
Do you want a female officer to help you?
No. Male one, not better.
Which one? Do you want a hand with that, or are you okay?
No. Can't even get it off. Can you do it?
Yes, of course.
Oh, please.
No problem at all.
No. Come on.
No problem at all.
Ula was funny, to be honest. She was quite entertaining, which makes it even more difficult to deal with somebody like that. You've got to constantly think about why she's there. She's got a reading that would kill most people, but she's still standing and talking. Can you imagine the consequence of her in the car? So I'd imagine that the custody officer will be asking that she is remanded in custody. So she'll appear in court and will be remanded, hopefully, and won't be back out on the road for some time. This lady may well have a drinking problem. To a certain extent, I feel desperately sorry for her that she's got to the point where she really doesn't know what's going on.
Do you want a drink of anything? Tea or coffee or anything?
Coffee.
Coffee. Any sugar?
Yes. No.
No sugar? No? Black. Okay.
Well, if you need anything, push the button. I'll go, okay? Take it easy.
Alright.
It's very upsetting to think that somebody can actually be in that state. And yes, you do care as to what happens to them, and And I'm glad that she wasn't hurt or nobody else was hurt.
In Fareham, PC Elcombe has got the booze he seized from the lorry back to the nick.
Proof of the pudding's in the eating. Hopefully I've not lost any of my evidence. The bottles are still in one piece. How smooth's that? Shaken, not stirred. We're not in a position to really bail this person until we know where we're going, because if he decides to scoot off back to Poland, that could be the last time that we see him.
There is still not enough proof to convict the driver. Unless Elcombe can get a witness statement, they'll have to go with the lesser charge of being drunk whilst in charge of a vehicle.
It can be very frustrating, and it's difficult sometimes to maintain your sense of professionalism. It's been a long day, and you know that you've got reams of paperwork to even fill in before you go home, but the job's got to be done, and so try and put a brave face on things and try and maintain your sense of humour.
At Waterlooville, there's no such luck for PC Woodward. He's still got Mr. Britain to process.
You've blown 46 and 52.
The reading is above the drink drive limit of 35. But anyone who blows under 50 is offered a second chance, with a blood test. By the time the doctor arrives and the sample is analysed, Britain's alcohol level could drop to below the limit. But he's decided not to take up the offer.
The samples...
I'll sit here for another hour and a half waiting for a bloody doctor to come and take a blood test on me. Unless you say no, we'll have a piss test.
It will be blood. He's now sitting in the cell, and when he's sobered up a little bit, he'll get charged with excess alcohol purely on the breath sample, which came back at the lowest of the two readings at 46. So that only sort of just puts him over the limit. There has to be a limit somewhere along the line, and he's over it. So I've got a lot of sympathy with him. None actually. Especially as he's done. This is what his sixth time. This is his sixth time for excess alcohol, so he knows the rules. He knows what the limits are, and he didn't have to go out and drive his car tonight.
Mr. Britain was found guilty of drink driving and banned for 12 months. He was also fined £150, but he was not sent to prison again. But Ula, who blew one of the highest readings the cops had ever seen, was for 4 months and banned from driving for 3 years. And the Polish trucker was eventually found guilty of being drunk whilst in charge of his lorry and awarded 10 points on his licence and fined £200.